Well, we started out December with wet, foggy weather here at the Big A, which resulted in a cancellation of race number 9. I'm Richard Migliore, joined by the lovely Maggie Wolfendale for the first Insider show in December 2nd.
Yeah, it was a bit of a foggy one, Richie, as we did have to force a cancellation of today's last race here at the Big A. Stewart saying, got to keep everybody safe, which was unfortunate, but yes, you know, you err on the side of caution.
Yeah, of course, nobody wants to see a cancellation, but when it comes to safety for the horses and their riders, that becomes the most important thing. I know some people, I'm sure, were disappointed, but you come back tomorrow with a $35,000, over $35,000 carryover into Thursday's card. So just pick up where you left off, and a bunch of consolation payoffs. So Maggie heading into, after the cancellation of last race, I should say. And the most notable being that 6, automatically you get pick 6 for $6,000. If you had 5, it was $61, but that carryover, as aforementioned, $35,000 plus for tomorrow's program. And a lot of other news going on around NYRA, Maggie, when we come talk about the dates that we're going to put up for next year. As far as the winter dates, everybody had speculated we're going to be 4 days a week in January, February, March, 14 less days than last year. And some important dates to note as well. The Travers and the Belmont Stakes dates are set.
Well, I think it's important to note that, yes, while we are 14 days less scheduled dates, we did lose a lot of dates. So I think this 4-day race week actually really kind of aids us through those winter months. And I think it's a good call as far as the calendar is concerned. But we do move to the main track on March 31st here at the Big A, and then back to the Big B on April 29th. So looking forward to what's to come in 2016.
And I like that we have a larger winter, or I should say Christmas break next year. I think it's the 19th through the 28th. It's always fun to have off around Christmas time.
Yeah, I spend time with the family, though my family is completely immersed in horse racing, so it doesn't really matter to me.
No, yeah, the horses still got to be taken care of and fed, and the people at the barn, the unsung heroes, the grooms, hot walkers, and all the backstretch workers. Well, speaking of unsung heroes, Ted Hill, a longtime Jockey Club steward here, announced that he will be retiring, and he'll be replaced by Jimmy Edwards, who is a guy I had a lot of familiarity with, riding with him in the early 80s into the early 90s, and he was an Eclipse Award-winning apprentice back in 1975.
That's right. He's ridden over 15,000 races with wins in over 2,000 of them. So he's served as a steward in New Jersey, overseeing the 3 tracks there, Atlantic City, Monmouth, and the Meadowlands. So we're looking forward to him coming in. He'll start being the steward here at the NYRA tracks at 1/1/2016. So looking forward to meeting him and him officiating over our races.
Stewards have a tough job. It's a thankless job, but I'm really happy that a former rider is in the stand. I think they bring a whole nother perspective, and sometimes riders might try to get over on a steward that never rode. They kind of feel foolish doing it to a guy who rode as many races as Jimmy.
I agree. I do like having a steward who knows what's going on out there, has lived it and breathed it himself. So I think that will bring in just some new blood, just a new perspective possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, thankless job, a tough job, but they do it well. Speaking of good news, how about what I was reading earlier today? Lady Eli tack walking, and it sounds like Chad Brown's ecstatic with her progress.
Yeah, he really is. And I have to give credit where credit is due here. Chad's assistant, Cherie DeVoe, just spent day and night with this filly during the summertime after that Belmont Oaks, where she stepped on a nail coming back from the test barn and unfortunately developed signs of laminitis. So she really was relentless in this filly's recovery, and I saw a video that she posted on Facebook of Lady Eli tack walking down there at Palm Meadows. So as far as Chad is concerned, as far as he has a special kind of foot doctor, Dr. Brian Fraley, in the mix, and he's overseeing her, and the x-rays look normal. Looks almost as if no trauma had actually happened.
Well, that's really good news, and all we can do is keep our fingers crossed and hope that Lady Eli continues to progress, and we get the Lady Eli we saw in that Belmont Oaks that we just watched back later next year.
Yeah, undefeated, 6 for 6 so far. Most of them, at 5 of the 6, being stakes, and a Breeders' Cup win to her credit. So she's just, we love her, the fans love her, and she's a true race mare.
Well, something to look forward to for 2016, but we got to jump into the live action today, and we're going to start out with race number 5. It was off the turf, will be a 1 1/8 miles on the main track, and here's John Imbrial with the call.
And they're off. Angel Choir and Lucky Nancy E. On the far outside is Fair Point. Then the gray, Runner, followed by Teresa's Candy Rose, and Jade Marie is the early trailer in 6th as they move around the clubhouse turn. Lucky Nancy E. by a long neck over Angel Choir. Those two have opened 2 on Teresa's Candy Rose down at the rail. Runner is in between horses, and Fair Point's on the outside. Then a gap of 4 back to Jade Marie. The trailer in 6th. The opening quarter went in 24 seconds, and they've reached the backstretch. Lucky Nancy E. holding on to that narrow lead over Angel Choir. Then it's a length and a half. Fair Point on the outside, and down at the rail is Teresa's Candy Rose. Another 2 to Runner, and 4 more to Jade Marie. They continue along up the sloppy backstretch, and it's Lucky Nancy E. maintaining a half-length lead over Angel Choir, the half in 48 and 3. Teresa's Candy Rose is down at the rail, and the favorite Fair Point's on the outside. And now Fair Point begins to make her move as they go into the far turn. Lucky Nancy E, a little more than a length. Fair Point is now in 2nd. Teresa's Candy Rose runs in 3rd as Angel Choir drops back. Then it's Runner, and Jade Marie. Lucky Nancy E with the lead as they come for the head of the stretch. It's Fair Point giving chase in 2nd, and Teresa's Candy Rose down at the rail. 3/4 went in 1:13 and 4. Now they're in the lane. Lucky Nancy E challenged by Teresa's Candy Rose. Fair Point is back running in 3rd. A furlong to the finish. Teresa's Candy Rose on the inside and Lucky Nancy E on the outside. They've got 4 lengths on Fair Point and Jade Marie. Now inside the 16th pole. Lucky Nancy E on the outside, narrowly over Teresa's Candy Rose. Lucky Nancy E prevails. Teresa's Candy Rose was 2nd. Farther back, a photo for 3rd between Fair Point and Jade Marie.
Well, 1 mile and a furlong and about 10 inches separated the winner and the runner-up here. Lucky Nancy, very game when Teresa's Candy Rose rallied up inside of her.
I thought really good performances by both these filly, but yes, Lucky Nancy E really proved to be the most determined of those 2, and she led every step of the way and fought off all challengers. And well, she was an MTO, so it always helps to have those in races.
Yeah, no doubt. I was a little surprised she paid as big a price as she did.
There were some nice horses in here. I mean, Runner and Fair Point are nice horses, but they're turf fillies. So, you know, I always hear Andy saying you're always betting, a lot of times they're betting into the wrong horses for the wrong reasons because they're not on the right surface. So I think Lucky Nancy E, she was a bit of an overlay, and if you backed her, you got paid.
No doubt. Jim Ryerson doing a great job, making a nice impression here in New York. Good ride by Manny Franco to get the victory. We're going to head on to race 6, 6.5 furlongs. We got nice $25,000 claimers, hard-hitting group. Send it upstairs to Johnny I.
And they're off. Got Winged goes for the lead. Awesome Bill runs in 2nd. Far outside is Touchdown in 3rd. Deputy Buster Stone. Down at the rail, it's Dynamo Flotilla as they head up the backstretch. And Got Winged has opened up a 4-length advantage. Dynamo Flotilla now moves into 2nd. Then it's Sunny Puzzle running in 3rd. Touchdown Extreme outside in 4th. Awesome Bill is now 5th, followed by Deputy Buster Stone in 6th. 100% is 7th. Broadway Bay in 8th. Swivel trails the field in 9th. The quarter was run in 22 and 4/5 seconds as they move around the far turn. Got Winged continues to lead here. It's Got Winged by a little more than 2 lengths. Sunny Puzzle now up into 2nd. Down on the inside is Dynamo Flotilla, who's under the whip in 3rd. Touchdown is 4th, and then the gray Awesome Bill in 5th, followed by 100% and Deputy Buster Stone. The half in 46 seconds. Got Winged has a 3-length lead. Got Winged in front, chased by Sunny Puzzle in 2nd. Then Dynamo Flotilla. On the outside is Touchdown and Broadway Bay. There's a 16th to the wire. Got Wing trying to hang in there. Got Wing by 2. Broadway Bay with a big rush on the outside. Broadway Bay to win it. Going away at the end. A photo for 2nd between Got Winged and Dynamo Flotilla.
Maggie, the late run by Broadway Bay gets it done. I thought speed was pretty good today. Got winged, maybe a little over-aggressive.
Yeah, well, for a horse who had never necessarily been on the lead before, I thought with the blinkers, he actually looked a bit better going out for Abby here. I thought he would be on the lead, to tell you the truth here, Rachel. I thought he was going to hold on, but seemingly from out of nowhere, Broadway Bay just really got his act together as he dropped out of those state bred allowance races. He looked great, and a deserved win here for Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown does a terrific job, and I always like when you see the horses come back, Maggie, and the handlers are taking care of them, much like boxers coming back to their corner after a round, getting sponged down, getting that mud out of their eyes.
That's exactly what it reminds you of, truly. No, I like to see it. That too, and just adulation for the horse. It's good to let them know they did well. I'm a firm believer in that they kind of accept that and recognize that.
I'm with you all the way with that. But we'll see what's on the other side of this break as we're going to get to race number 7 and 8 and the rest that happened here at the Big A.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the 2nd floor at Aqueduct.
And don't forget, December, as we're heading towards Christmas, is a time to think of giving. And the United States Marine Corps certainly do a great job with Toys for Tots. Donate an unwrapped toy to a child in need today. Maggie, they do a great job.
They really do, and his name is failing me right now, the sergeant who always comes out. Chuck Kilbride, thank you, Eric, in my ear for that. He's a charismatic type of guy and a big fan of horse racing, so he always kind of gets people rallying around him to really support this cause, Toys for Tots.
And that's what really Christmas is supposed to be about, giving, not taking. So here's an opportunity to give back to children that really could use it. I'm Maggie. I'm Richard Migliore.
Oh,
You're
nice
Maggie
to meet you,
Wolfendale.
Maggie
Excuse
Wolfendale.
me. And welcome back to Insider after we got that out. We got to head to race number 7. It's the fillies and mares turns, claiming $25,000, going 6 furlongs.
And they're off. A good start for Star Dynasty from the extreme outside. Now Harlan's Bell moves up. And in between horses, it's Majestic Jessica. So 3 of them across the track for the lead. Touching My Toes, tracks in 4th. Make Your Point down on the inside in 5th. Little Miss Julia is next in 6th. Then it's Crazy About Elvis in 7th. And My Jimmy Choo Girl is the trailer in 8th. They head for the far turn, and the quarter was running 22 and 4. Harlan's Bell on the inside, Star Dynasty on the outside. They're right together. It's a length and a half now to Majestic Jessica in 3rd, Touching My Toes, advancing on the outside from 4th, and Make Your Point is down at the rail in 5th. Then a 6 or 7 length gap back to the remaining 3. Little Miss Julia, Crazy About Elvis, and the trailer at the back is My Jimmy Choo Girl. The half and 46 and 4 in the stretch. Here's Star Dynasty, and on the outside, Touching My Toes. Star Dynasty, Touching My Toes on the outside. Make Your Point down at the rail. And Harlan's Bell as they pass the 16th pole. It's Star Dynasty and Touching My Toes. They come right down to the finish. Looked like Touching My Toes got up in the final strides. It'll be a photo with Star Dynasty.
Another race, Maggie, where the photo finish camera had to separate the top 2, but it was Touching My Toes getting up in the shadow of the wire over a hard-running Star Dynasty.
Yeah, Star Dynasty with that extender slider bit on, and Touching My Toes finishing up on her left lead. They duked it out, and Touching My Toes just got the nod over Star Dynasty for David Jacobson and the bug boy, Harry Hernandez.
Harry Hernandez making a nice impression, finishes well, shows good patience. I like what I'm seeing from Harry Hernandez, and I think somebody we're going to keep an eye on the entire winter.
Totally. I'm looking forward to see what this guy has in store for us.
And he's going to be proud of that win photo as well. Let's head on to race number 8. But we're not going to see too much of this race because it's going to give you an idea of just how foggy it got out here at Aqueduct. But a nice allowance optional claimer going 6 furlongs.
And again, we'll give you whatever camera angles will show some horses once they are on their way. And they are off in the 8th race. And right now, not much to report. According to the trackers numbers on the screen, number 1, Alex the Treasure's in front over number 2, Juba. Then the 9, Crafty Dreamer, and the 5, Sam Sparkle. The field looks like they're going around the far turn. They should be after an opening quarter mile in 22 seconds. Alex the Terror in those blue silks down towards the rail, and the gray, although they all appear gray right now, is Juba, who's running in second. And that is Crafty Dreamer in third, and Sam Sparkle next in fourth. Looks like Bridget's Big Lovey in fifth. And they should be coming to the top of the stretch. The half went in 45 seconds. Still covered in fog here. And we're just about seeing somebody now emerge from the fog. And that is indeed number 1, Alex the Terror, the winner. That was number 11, Sir Bond in second. And number 7, Sir Marvelous was...
Well, Maggie, we couldn't see a lot, but what we could see was that Alex the Terror certainly relished the going.
He was a terror in the fog, that's for sure. Gate to wire, at least I think it was gate to wire. We couldn't see the first quarter mile of that race very well. But yeah, he was determined, and boy, he's been good since he has come here to New York. I mean, for each connection that has had him, going back to Greg DePrima and now the Toscanos, they've done well with this horse, and a horse who's really kind of found his groove, Richie, and just keeps clicking off good performances every time he comes over.
Yeah, and the Toscanos have had a terrific year. A lot of their horses running extremely well, and Alex the Terror under Kendrick Carmouche, well, he terrorized the opposition, that's for sure. I want to take a look at the rest of what happened today, as we did cancel the last, but we got races 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Now, who is the Giantess tailed off in fourth? And there's a quarter of a mile to the finish. Brimstone continues to lead here. It's Brimstone in front. 2 lengths. Mascarello and Super Psyche giving chase. Brimstone now opens up. Brimstone in front by almost 4. Brimstone in front as they come down for the 16th pole. And Brimstone is on to victory here. The battle's going to be for second. It's between Mascarello and Super Psyche. Brimstone takes it. Mascarello completes the exacta. Super Psyche was third. And who is the Giant finished fourth? It's More Than Rainbows, challenged here by Colonel Juanita. Brigetta is third. Farther back, Little Gidding is fourth. A half in 46 and 4/5 seconds, and they're in the stretch. More Than Rainbows on the inside, and Colonel Juanita on the outside. More Than Rainbows digging in. On the outside, it's Colonel Juanita. More Than Rainbows, Colonel Juanita. A 2-horse race right down to the finish. More Than Rainbows inside, Colonel Juanita outside. Nothing between them as they come down for the wire. More Than Rainbows by a head. Colonel Juanita was second. And Brigetta finished third. Third, farther back, Wild Images. Fourth, 10 lengths from front-running Irish Laughter, who comes off the turn with a huge lead. Irish Laughter in front here by double-digit lengths. Irish Laughter in front by 10, maybe a dozen, maybe more. It is a laugher for Irish Laughter. She romps in the slop. And here's Wild Image now, getting up for second. Then it was Paw Annie, and Your Credit Is Good. Then comes Most Happy Fella and Rap Doro. They have caught Every Dog Has His Day after 3/4 in 1:13. Lure of the South comes through on the inside now to take over. Is Lure of the South in front. Then Every Dog Has His Day and Mississippi Duel as they pass the 8th pole. Lure of the South in front by 5. Lure of the South pouring it on here in the stretch. Much the best winner. Every Dog Has His Day held on to second. Rapduro came from out of it to get third.
Maggie, I never enjoyed riding on days like this unless I had a horse that had speed and liked the going.
Yeah, it can't be too pleasant getting kicked back from this sloppy track. Yeah, if they're not handling it either, it feels like you're riding to go nowhere.
Yeah, and go through a lot of goggles, although I did get a lot of facials, right?
Yeah, exfoliation. It's always good.
No doubt. Well, let's take a second look. Let's go back to race number 2. And I think the biggest thing out of this race was just what a good horse race it was.
Really was, between the two inside horses here, as we'll see more than rainbows. We saw a couple gritty efforts from fillies and mares today, and more than rainbows for Gary Siaka really just proved that. She took a drop back down in class to the 12.5 level, and how can you not love Colonel Juanita, even though she finished second here? She just shows up for whoever has her every time she's brought over. Claimed again today. We'll check out claims a little bit later on in the show, but she, like I said, she just shows up, and you always got to love and respect horses like that.
And that's the kind of horses I like. Just bring your lunch pail and go to work. Well, speaking of bringing your lunch pail and go to work, Irad Ortiz Jr. just keeps on rolling along. 27 wins at the meet to lead his brother, Jose Ortiz. Johnny Velasquez back in third, but we won't see Johnny anymore this year. He packed it up, as did Joel Rosario. Kendrick Carmouche.
He's actually in third.
Yeah, actually,
the numbers were a little
off, but he's in
yeah.
third. And you know what? He's going to have a big say what goes on around here all winter long. Rudy Rodriguez having a terrific Aqueduct. Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher, the usual suspects down the line. Michael Dubb, a man for all seasons. Maggie, seems like he wins 365 days a
year. Well, because he varies his stable. He has private purses. He has sales horses, 2-year-old sales horses. He claims so much. He just covers every kind of gamut of the game, and that's why he's so successful, I think.
A man with a plan, and does a lot of claiming. And speaking of claiming, more than rainbows, the winner and the runner-up out of the race we just watched. Actually, four horses out of that race. A very popular race at the claim box today. Groomed for victory. Didn't run his A race today, but he'll go to Dave Canizzo. Gary Gullo's been very active at the claim box. Tom Morley, don't see him claim too many, but actually like this horse going in, see if Tom can get him turned around. And Bobby Barbera reaching in for another one. Majestic Jessica. Well, they're working on the racetrack, and we'll take a look at tomorrow's card and kind of handicap what the racetrack might look like tomorrow on the other side of this break. Don't forget Saturdays here at Aqueduct, $200,000 guaranteed late pick 4. Maggie, where else can you go to have a great time and maybe make a life-changing score?
That's right, Richie. The racetrack. And the Big A specifically here, as well. We don't have, those super shiny races left of the graded stakes quality. We do have some good racing here and competitive fields as well. So we will be switching over to the inner track very soon, though.
Yep, and I think it presents a lot of opportunities, horses for courses kind of thing. Well, let's take a look at tomorrow's card, race number 7, and we're looking at 83, breaking her maiden last October at Keeneland.
Yeah, that's right. The only time that he's been on a dirt track, albeit wet, because it might still be wet tomorrow, we'll see what kind of condition it's in, was his best race thus far. The only thing I don't like about him is that he doesn't stay on the track very often. I mean, there's lines between every single race, and he'll go out for David Jacobson, who, though, has good numbers with this kind of move.
Yeah, no doubt. And how about Swell, Maggie? We were watching him finish third over a year ago in Saratoga.
Yeah, and he'll go first off a claim, off of a layoff, dating back to May here for Michelle Nevin. He's a bit of a head case. I'm hoping that Michelle has figured him out. He's flipped over in the paddock several times. He's just not an easy horse to deal with. So I like the fact that Michelle gave him time and brought him back for the same tag that she claimed him for.
And now we're taking a look at Roman Revival, a little more recent form, and he's turning back in distance.
Yeah, I think that will aid him out a bit. Also getting Lasix for the first time. Though I really question this horse's overall talent because he did win first time out, decent speed figure with speed. Don't know about that field that he beat. I don't think it was of the highest quality, and the horses that he faces tomorrow are just a bit better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a pretty tough field, and he's going to have to bring his A game for sure. How about race 8 tomorrow, Maggie? New York bred fillies. And Women Win was so impressive breaking her maiden, but a pretty big step up in class to the Iroquois last time.
Yeah, where she got embroiled in a hot pace duel. But the thing is, Richie, is her hand's going to be forced tomorrow to go. She's a filly that does do her best running on the front end, but she has some speed to her outside, especially in the Finger Lake Shipper and Shangri-La, and some others who have shown a propensity to be forwardly placed. She isn't going to get that easy lead that I think she needs to be successful.
Well, if anybody's going to pick up on it, it's going to be one of the outside outside fillies. What about Beating Heart Baby, who finally put it all together last time?
Right. Well, once again, field quality kind of comes into question, but she looked good in doing it off of a long layoff. We'll see. She does have the right kind of running style, I think, for the dynamics of tomorrow's race, at least what it looks like on paper, just to sit off those leaders and make that one run. So if she's a filly that can improve off that effort, albeit she's a true contender.
Well, how about the filly drawn just inside of her, My Supernova, who hinted at great ability early on, kind of has never put it all together.
She's really fizzled, and I think she is a filly who doesn't really like Aqueduct. You look at her 2 main track efforts here at the Big A, and they are by far the worst of her career.
Well, and I'm a true believer in that. Horses for courses, and we see it quite often. Horses that don't like a particular racetrack will do better elsewhere.
That's true. And we see Golden Gem, I think, running a very much improved race with blinkers on and being able to run out of her own stall here for Rick Violet as she finished second. And then you have Spuntastic, who I think it's a much better draw for her. She was drawn down on the inside of filly, who does have a little bit of pace, but I think with that outside draw, she can kind of sit and watch things unravel and make a plan from there.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Golden Gem. She's got 2 starts at Aqueduct, the win in a second.
Exactly.
Horse for course, I'm going that direction.
I have to agree with you there. I really liked her effort last time, too.
Okay, we're going to look at something throughout the next 19 days to the end of the year. We have 19 Insider shows left, and we're going to take a look back at Far From Over in the Withers, and at the start, I thought everything was over for him.
That's right. Manny Franco doing a great job with him, getting him collected, not panicking, just sitting back and letting him run his own race. It was a shame that we never really heard from this horse again, because I thought, looking at him, he was a great physical, as we see him stumble very badly there. And this was only, what, his, I think, second start of his career?
Yep.
And to kind of regroup and come back from that, I think was very impressive. And too, Richie, I remember this horse just being a picture-perfect physical. I mean, it was just very well balanced. Like I said, it's disappointing we never heard from him again. Maybe down the line, maybe down in Gulfstream. He's a Todd Pletcher horse. We'll hear from Far From Over, but this was an impressive effort nonetheless.
No, and you're going to see he's going to be rallying into the picture soon. And for a young horse to completely change his style, because he showed speed first time, stumble, and keep coming, let's pick it up and get Johnny Brial's call through the stretch.
Top of the stretch together, El Kabir and Classy Class. They continue to battle it out. Marches tailed off in third, and Far From Over, who had that terrible beginning, is making an unbelievable run here. Here comes Far From Over on the outside of El Kabir. Classy Class is down at the rail. It's Far From Over, and he's going to win the Withers with a terrific performance. Far From Over El Kabir and Classy Class.
Well, he was far from over, but we're over, and we want to say good night. We'll catch up with you right here again tomorrow on MSG Plus.